Just as a recap, in terms of what we did last time was to go through the various modules. And what's important now today is to look at particularly VAT. And then we'll also look at, once you have got the VAT, what does that mean in terms of making text digital. I'll try, when I go through making text digital, I'll try to sort of like highlight quickly the sort of like setup which will need to be done, not in detail, but just to give a people overview. But the detailed discussion will be had with Maria and Ali in terms of as the system administrators on how that is done. But the most important thing is, from a tax point of view, it is important to note that when you are processing your transactions, you process your transactions in the normal way. I don't know if people can see my screen here. So when you go into your access, you go into your GL, and then in a normal month, you'll be processing your charges, if there are any charges to be made. You are processing any payables, and then the discussion around processing of the transactions. It's simple to state that when you in any particular invoice, definitely you have the ability to specify what the VAT is. So already the system is been set up to make sure that all the various items relating to VAT have been set up. So for instance, if I come here and just add what we call a capital badge, so a payable badge, you'll find that the payable is automatically set up here, and then when you're setting up that payable, okay, you can add that payable, and in that particular payable you get all the details. Again, this is part of your EAT which you can do, but I just want to give an idea of what's happening here. So in essence, when you process all your details, you have various types of transaction you can have. Like, this is just a standard payable. Then you all complete all the details there. But the most important thing which I want to relate is when you are processing, you specify the property and you specify the amount, and the most important thing is the tax. So in this instance, this tax amount takes it from, effectively, if you have got a vendor here, so the payee here. So I'll just keep a good example of the UK one. So it will take the characteristics from the UK automatically. So in essence, the processing itself is quite straightforward, in the sense that once you process all these transactions, the VAT amounts are collected in the system. Now, when we look at the VAT amounts themselves, there are two things we should be, well, there are one key thing which you should be very aware of. If you are importing just VAT journals, you're just importing journals, and those are not what we call tax journals, then those amounts will not be appearing in the VAT when you come to VAT reporting. The reason is you cannot, because you are not specifying the actual VAT amount on those journals, then it doesn't link up to the setup, which we'll be looking at briefly, soon, sorry. So the most important thing is you'll be processing all your transactions in the normal way. Whether it's a charge, again, this is where you have got your receipts. Effectively, this is where you have you report all your what do you call it, accounts receivable. Then again, it will be in essence something here, but at the moment you don't have any tenants there, but it might be, let's say, a customer or a vendor as well as anything else. So you can still get that, and then of course, if it has been set up to have the appropriate VAT, then it will also be calculated accordingly. So once this is done, what happens is you will be able to see in your report, your accounting report. When we talk of accounting report, is effectively a financial report. So these financial reports are here in terms of the trial balance. So you can pick up any property which you have here, and then for that particular period of the property, you'll be able to see. What's important is you'll be able to see in that particular property the control account for the VAT. So in essence, that control account will show you what the VAT is payable and the VAT payable and the VAT receivable from that end. So you'll be able to do that. So in a nutshell, that's sort of like the high level transactions which you are able to effectively perform. So in this case, I will just show the GL account. I'll just suppress. Okay. So in this case, at the moment you've got your VAT account payable here. So is that the correct one? Yeah. So depending on the setup you have, then this amount will basically relate to what is going to be in your VAT report. So in essence, whenever you've got a transaction coming through, it will all be here. So in our particular case, we didn't put in an example of a transaction, but when you do your UAT, you'll be able to come to this particular entity and then automatically be able to process a transaction. And then once you pick up that transaction, into the VAT element will definitely come and be reflected here. Now,
sorry.
Yeah.
I think Pavel has a question.
Yeah.
Pavel, you're really quiet to me. I don't know if your mic is.
Hello?
I can't hear. Is it just me or?
Yeah, I can't hear it all. I think we've got a problem with the mic. So, hello?
Hello, let's try again. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Just a quick question, sorry. On vendors section, suppliers vendors section, when you were talking about the VAT rates classification, would you mind going back to it? I just would like to see what classifications you got there on the vendors when you were dealing with payables.
Okay. Which is fine. So if I come and let's say we use this particular example which we have for this particular entity, which makes it easy. So when you are processing, let's say you add like, I'll just review a batch which I just did here. So I'm able to look at this payable, okay, and then I can go and add a payable, sorry, here, okay. So let's look at that. Okay, so your question is, so in this case, yeah.
What types of VAT we can select, and how is it allocated to suppliers? Is it automatic allocation? I'm interested to see what options we have when we are choosing the VAT rate, right? Because there will be instances when the VAT is outside of scope. And it's really important on the reporting, right? So that we distinguish, every single type of VAT, which is either nil, 0, or 5 or 20%, right? So because I didn't see the drop-down list, so I would like to see what options we got there.
Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do is I'll just sort of like go a few stems back, just to give you the background of how the VAT works in Voyager without complicating overall.
No. It's just all I need to know if what our options are when we are choosing the VAT rate.
Okay, so this is what happens. So, in essence, when we have got VAT in the system, we have what we have is we have already, the system has already been set up based on the tax authorities. So, if I come here, I have got the tax authority, let's say Luxembourg. Okay. So Luxembourg has already been set up. So when Luxembourg has been set up, we've already set up the various tax codes. Okay. So the tax rates as well, and then that's the.
Would you mind going to the UK, please? Because it's a specific question on UK.
Okay, that's fine. So if I come to the okay, yeah. So if I come to the UK, which is your GB, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, right. So you have got all this all these rights.
Oh, well, so this is where I was.
Yeah.
This is where I wanted to get. So where is the outside of the scope section? How do we book invoices from suppliers which are outside of the scope? And it could be either suppliers outside from the UK, or it could be UK suppliers, which quite often is like when we pay rates, things like that. So the government, which is taxing itself. So I'm coming from the VAT reporting perspective. It's really important that we distinguish correct allocations, right?
Yeah, that's fine. So what happens is when the setup is done for tax, already the what I call the non-VAT will automatically come out for you. So let's go back to here. If we come and pick up any UK entity, any UK say supplier, I just want to see if I can pick up any UK supplier. So when you set up the UK supplier, the vendor, automatically you specify what VAT, whether they are VAT registered or not, and that automatically comes through when you are processing the transaction. But it gives you the options now. So if you look here, let's say whatever expense type you are going to have, I'll just be, let's say, professional. And then, of course, we'll choose an amount here of GBP. So what happens is the property we were talking about, I think, was, do I still have that property? Yeah. So you can pick up the property, you can pick up the expense type you are going to be, let's say, in this case, I'll just pick up any for accounting purposes. Now, this is where it becomes interesting. So, the VAT you can choose, okay? So the VAT, if it's just domestic, which is means
okay, so I can see, sorry for interrupting you, so I can see OOS is outside of scope, right?
Yes, everything is there, including the...
Okay, yep, that's all I needed to know, thank you.
Just to be clear, that's not like